Need to tell a real one exactly what it is.
Tolani, this is our third Tems episode.
My brother,
I'm not complaining.
absolute body.
What do you think about Tems' journey so far?
It's been incredible. I think we've covered that on the last two episodes as regards Tems. So I don't think it's something that we should rehash on this episode again, right? Is it? I think so. There's really nothing to talk about as regards like our journey. It's just like right now, bro. It's all hands on deck, both feet on necks. It's like she's stepping on everybody's necks and she's keeping her legs there or her feet there. It's ridiculous right now. Every week, just like this week alone, it's been 3 things back to back. Like, bro, what the hell is going on? You need to calm down. And they said this. Tech tweeted yesterday that this is only the start. I'm like, okay, sis, okay. Shout out to them, man. It's amazing.
All right. What's the difference between Tems of now and Tems of 2019?
It's a lot of difference. Her voice for one, she's mastering. I don't think it's intentional. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's almost like she has mastered the art of playing with the pitch and the tempo of her voice. One, knowing how to emote more. Like look at that No Woman No Cry. It suits the very emotional texture of the ad or the trailer. I think that's one thing. And even when she's performing on stage, or the acoustic version of If the World Was Ending, which was on Genius. You know, the acoustic version was the one that was on the Future song, not the original version. Yeah. So that's one thing that she's getting better at. And then one thing that was really missing from the Tems journey was always the fact that we couldn't really see the personality. Couldn't really see it felt like getting the brand was always a problem. Understanding what the brand is was a problem, at least from the outside, right? And when someone from the outside can perceive things like that, everybody else can feel it, that something is missing. Do you understand? Even though they can appreciate the voice, they can appreciate the beautiful woman, and they can see that something is missing. But over the past few months, that started to change. It announced the podcast. Even she's doing some voiceovers there. We're seeing more personality. I think her last post on Instagram, she was like, right? You understand, like it feels like there's more confidence right now. She's a calm person. It feels like she's a calm person, but it feels like the parts where she shows her friends behind closed doors, where she's goofy and playful, where now she's being more comfortable with showing that on screen or when the cameras are on or when she's on stage, right? And that's there. And then there's also the part where it's more skin now and spicier. Before it was dark shades, dark baggy outfits, big clothes. Now it's skin tight, bro. Afro body to the world season. Afro spicy. Atarudu everywhere. Do you understand? Like if men were begging Tems to turn back in the day, we no longer need to beg her to turn. Everything turning on you, my brother. Oh my God, I'm headache. That's a very good one. She's, bro, right? And they're still giving you, it's still angles, right? There was the part where she was at the pool with Ira Star, where she turned Twitter. Anytime Tems turns, Twitter men go into a meltdown. Nigerian men are so useless. Bro! Black men are so useless. Every time the babe turns, Twitter goes into a spiral. I don't understand. Bro, I don't understand. The time when she posted a picture of men that should look really good in that outfit, when she was wearing the monostrap outfit, bruh. Twitter started, grown men started posting pictures. Grown men with wives, bro. Anyway, so that's there as well. More skin, like crop tops now. Yeah. Bikinis just a few months ago. That wasn't happening 2 years ago. I mean, I understood where she was going at the time, but I think everybody on our team also realizes that if you are going to be something, if you are going to push you as like a bridge between pop, R&B, and soul, then you need to be a little more sexier than normal, right? It can work. Like you can see someone like her, for example. If there's a similar brand to hers, I feel like it's Georgia Smith. I think that's the most similar brand to Tems is. I think in terms of good looks, powerful vocals, beauty, black women, light-skinned black women, or brown black women, brown-skinned black women. I think they're very similar. The only difference is just that Tems is way more Afro, and Tems is way more fluid than a Georgia is. I'm not saying sexually, I'm saying fluid in terms of brand, right? I think that's the major difference.
Now that the brand is getting built with Depthworks, do you think she needs the home front?
A lot of people are going to say, man, she doesn't, but she does, yes. I feel like that's another thing that they need to, that's the possibly the last thing that they need to fix. She has fans here. She's probably going to sell out capacities here. But it just feels like the fan base is still a little niche, right? It's not as mainstream as it should be for someone who is that big outside of the country. It feels like she needs that hit here. Like Essence was a big song, Try Me was a niche success, but she needs like a better way the boss brain, right? That's the kind of hit she needs something that, maybe she doesn't need a hit like that. Maybe she just needs like a timeless record in the zeitgeist. Maybe like an Asha with the records that Asha dropped on her debut album. A record like Bibanke, Jela, Eyadaba. Maybe those are the types of records that she needs. Maybe like 10 years, she still has like a huge fan base that appreciates that. Maybe that's what she needs. And that, I think if that's the case, then they need to really look into it. Right now, I still feel like maybe figuring out the sound is also like still an issue. I think figuring out the sound might still be an issue in terms of, is it Afro? Does she have the whatever to be Afro? Is it R&B? If you're doing R&B strictly, then maybe we might lose out on the Afro band, right? Or if she's pop, then does she have the personality and the razzmatazz to carry the pop side? So I think that's another thing that they are still figuring out. I think the good thing about Tems and her team and her label is every question that has been thrown at them, they have been answering them. They are taking on the boxes one by one, right? That's why I've been always from the start. I've been very. I think I criticized that once when she jumped on the record with Odusi, and I was like, "Why in the world are you doing a record?" I think that's the only time that I've disagreed. But since then, it's more like it's felt like a process, like someone who just out of the gates. It's not easy for someone to jump out of the gates like that and expect them not to have problems. But kudos to them, they've been managing it under pressure, which is very hard. It's a tough ask. Taking boxes one by one. So I think it's about giving them time, to be honest. And Free Mind is going to number one, which can validate my point that there's a search for a new sound. It looks like Free Mind is going to be the precursor to the album. Like, I mean, most people will go for new records. The good thing about these days is that no record is out of style. But Free Mind, if Free Mind is the go-to record, bro, it's not just that Twitter social media just woke up one day and decided to go to Free Mind. Nah. I mean, yes, possibly. They have to see some numbers and some spikes across the board. But then there's also there's obviously a budget behind that record, as it should be, right? As it should be. So it just shows that maybe they're going for what works. Maybe they don't think they have something on ground a new thing that could be on that level, that could have the reception. I think that's one thing that might. So maybe Free Mind is similar to what they have coming.
Okay.
And then they are using it to set the ground for it. And I think that's one thing. When they figure out the sound, I think they're going to be fine. But the thing about Tems right now, though, is I just think like there's so much excitement and fear of missing out around Tems right now that it's unlikely for her to fail, especially outside the country. Nigeria might not exactly warm up to her long-term post-release of an album or a single, but outside the country, there's this market, a bustling market that is ready for her, that is asking for her. Do you understand? Where she's going to be able to go through it and warp the perception of it entered successfully. Do you understand? She's going to be able to rigmarole it. Already, she has her own solo Billboard hit. How do you tell someone who has had a solo Billboard hit that their record didn't enter? Do you understand? You know what I mean? So she's going to be. So the thing about her debut album is just that, bruh, I can't see a world where Tems' debut album, like the build-up is so perfect right now. Like the rollout is happening by itself, almost by itself, right? Where everything is just falling into place. From features, from Essence remix, Future, Drake, Future, tours, tour dates, video, brand switch, Beyonce, Black Panther, Billboard Hot 100. Like everything is just happening, falling into place. It just feels like there's also people on that team who are thinking. And I don't think these things are 100% random. There are obviously a lot of plugins as regards this as well. So this is going to change a lot of things. So I can't see a world where Tems' album doesn't have at least 2 solo Billboard hits. I can't see it. I can't see it. Personally, I will be very surprised if that album doesn't produce at least 2 Billboard hits. And so that means she's going to be fine, regardless. That's how I say it.
All right. Do you think she could win Best New Artist in 2022 Grammys?
Bruh, shout out to Ayo of Turntable Chats, who posed this question to me like 3 days ago. So he said, do you think Tems could get a Best New Artist nomination or possibly win at the at the Grammys? Yeah. And I was like, I disagreed at first. But then because I also thought, is she eligible for it? But then when I started thinking about it and I listened to his points more, the first thing you have to understand this year is that there's no outstanding candidate for Best New Artist this year. Number 2, the agenda aligns with Tems. She's possibly the hottest new object of Afrobeat affection for American music and European music right now. So the agenda aligns with her, the timing aligns with her, the things she has done over the past few years align as well. Like you saw the award that she won at the BET Awards, so you can see all that is happening. So it definitely aligns. And number 3 is that the definition of the category aligns with her, because the last 2 winners of that category, over 2 of the last 3 years, the winners in that category have been Megan and Black Billie Eilish, right? And the year Billie Eilish was nominated, Lizzo was nominated. So it shows you that there are parallels somewhere, right, in terms of like the year that some of them have had. So if Tems is having this type of year, number 1 singles, top 10 hits, all of these things, then I think definitely she's going to definitely get. I can't not see it. It will be. She's definitely going to get the Best New Artist nomination. Definitely going to get the Best New Artist nomination. Winning will determine. Can I go on the limb and say definitely? Let me think about that. I think she's very likely to get a Grammy, Best New Artist Grammy nomination. Winning will determine the people. Will depend on the people that she's nominated with in that category and the agenda with those people as well, because it's the Grammys.
Free Mind is surging. How do you think that happened?
One, there's definitely some organic things there as regards Wait For You blew up, then people are going to go to search for Tems, right? Wait For You is a sensation across all platforms. So a lot of people are going to go search for Free Mind. But it also means that, number 1, it also shows, what it shows me as a person is that RCA needs something to set the template for Tems' debut album. And they probably, maybe they don't think, they see this as an easy win in terms of setting the template, right? For the album that's coming. And number 2, there's obviously a lot of planning and influence that has gone into producing a record like this. In this day and age, my brother, if you see anything that's blowing up, you better understand first things first, that there's a lot of budget and a lot of plugins and influence behind it. So you can see that a lot of budget, a lot of influence, and a lot of thought has gone into it. But it also shows you that there's a demand for Tems' music, because you can market something. If there's no demand for it, it's not going anywhere. So that's what it shows.
So how do you think our album is going to fare?
I just said it, bro. I'm very surprised if that album doesn't have at least 2 Billboard hits. I would be very surprised, because one thing I can see, aside from from all the things I said, I can see a lot of powerful collaborations on that album that are going to propel it. I can see an incredible amount of healthy marketing, because there's an agreement, it's an alliance between Tems' belief in herself, Tems' team's belief in her, and the label's belief in Tems, and the demand that Tems has made to generate outside of the country and the continent. So, bro, I can see a lot of people, because a lot of people want to be part of the wave right now. That's what I can see. So, a lot of people are part of the rebel gang. Anyway, so those are the things again, I'll be very, very surprised if that album, aside from the Free Mind, which I think they are going to put on the album now, Um, I'm very surprised if it doesn't generate at least 2 billboard hits, and that's facts for me.